After my husband caught me cheating with my boss, 8 years have passed. 8 years ago, my life changed completely. It was the night my husband, Tom, found out about my affair with my boss, David. He didn't discover it by accident. He had grown suspicious over time. The late hours at the office, the sudden business trips, and the emotional distance between us. Everything added up. But nothing could prepare me for the look on his face when he finally confronted me with the truth. The affair wasn't some romantic love story. It was a series of bad decisions made during a difficult time in our marriage. I had been working at the company for 5 years. David was charming, successful, and seemed to understand the frustrations I felt at home, something Tom didn't seem to notice. What began as friendly conversations slowly turned into something more. I knew it was wrong, but the secrecy brought a kind of excitement I foolishly believed was worth the risk. I was terribly mistaken. That night, Tom found the emails, clear and undeniable proof of my betrayal. I didn't try to lie. There was no point. The pain in his eyes, the anger, the shock, it was overwhelming. He left the house immediately and didn't return for 2 days. Those 2 days felt like the longest of my life. When Tom came back, it was only to pack a bag and leave again, this time for good. In the months that followed, everything felt like a blur. I took time off work because I couldn't bear to face David. The idea of pretending things were normal was unbearable. Tom filed for divorce soon after, and I didn't fight it. I had broken our marriage, and there was no way to undo the damage. I moved out of our house and rented a small apartment on the other side of town. It was a place where no one knew me, and for the first time I liked it that way. The divorce was finalized 6 months later. We didn't have children, so the process was simpler legally, but emotionally it was incredibly painful. Our families had known each other for years, and the impact of our separation spread far beyond the two of us. Friends chose sides. Some didn't choose at all, they just disappeared. The loneliness was crushing. But I knew I had caused it. Eventually I returned to work, but not at David's company. I resigned. I couldn't take the stares, the whispers, or the judgment from my coworkers. I found a new job at a smaller office, where no one knew my history. It felt like a clean slate, but the guilt and shame still stayed with me. I threw myself into my work to distract my mind. But no matter how busy I was, I couldn't forget what I had lost. I had destroyed the one thing that truly mattered. In the years that followed, I began trying to rebuild my life. I went to therapy to understand why I had made such harmful choices, why I had thrown away my marriage for something so empty. It wasn't only about the affair. It was about all the problems that had built up long before David was part of the picture. I realized that I had failed to express my feelings to Tom. Instead of working through our struggles together, I chose the easier, but far more destructive path. Meanwhile, Tom moved on. From what I heard through mutual friends, he started dating again about a year after our divorce. Eventually, he met someone serious. Her name was Emily. She was kind, grounded, and genuine, everything I had failed to be. I heard that Tom and Emily were happy together. And honestly, a part of me was glad he had found someone who could give him the stability I couldn't. 3 years after our divorce, I saw Tom again at a friend's wedding. It was the first time we had seen each other since everything had happened. We exchanged polite greetings, but there was a distance between us that felt impossible to cross. I could still see a trace of pain in his eyes, and my guilt returned like a wave. I didn't know if he would ever forgive me, or if I could ever forgive myself. As time went on, I continued going to therapy and focused on rebuilding my life. I joined a support group for people affected by infidelity, both those who were cheated on and those who had cheated. Listening to their stories opened my eyes. It helped me understand more deeply how much my actions had hurt others. The affair hadn't just broken Tom, it had damaged me too. It had changed how I saw myself and made me question my own worth. I needed to face those truths. By the 5th year after the divorce, I finally reached a place where I felt a little peace. I started a small business with a friend I met at my new job. It was something I had always dreamed of but never had the courage to try. For the first time in a long time, I felt like I was creating something meaningful. It didn't replace the life I had lost, but it was a new chapter, and that meant something. Around that time, I found out that Tom had proposed to Emily. When I saw the engagement photos on social media, I felt a mix of emotions. Part of me was happy for him. He truly deserved love and happiness. But another part of me felt the deep sadness of losing what could have been. A life that might have been mine if only I had been stronger, more honest, and less selfish. Now, 8 years have passed since that painful night. Tom and Emily are married. They recently had their first child. When I heard the news, I sent them a card with my congratulations and best wishes. I wasn't expecting a reply. But to my surprise, Tom messaged me a few weeks later. He thanked me for the card and asked if I'd like to meet for coffee. He said he just wanted to talk, not to reconnect romantically but for closure. When we met, it felt like seeing an old friend after a long time. Familiar but distant. We talked about our lives, where we ended up, and how we had both changed. Tom told me that while the affair had hurt him deeply, he had come to understand that both of us had played a role in the fall of our marriage. He shared his own regrets. How he wasn't always attentive. How he missed signs that something was wrong. How he took our relationship for granted. Hearing that didn't excuse what I had done. But it helped to know that he didn't see me as the villain anymore. Tom said he had forgiven me. Not for me but for his own peace of mind. He told me it took him years to get there. But holding on to anger wasn't helping him move forward. He had a new life now, a new family. And he needed to let go of the past to truly enjoy the present. We said goodbye with a quiet understanding. There was no dramatic reunion. No rekindled romance. Just a calm acceptance that we had shared a part of our lives together. And that chapter had closed. Today, I still run my business, and it's grown more than I ever imagined. I've started dating again. But this time I'm more careful and more aware of what I want and need in a relationship. I've learned that true happiness doesn't come from temporary thrills or distractions. It comes from the quiet, steady effort of building a life you're proud of. The affair was the biggest mistake of my life. But it taught me more about myself than I ever expected. I'm not the same woman I was 8 years ago, and I'm thankful for that. I've learned how to be honest with myself, how to face my flaws, and how to become a better version of who I am. I can't change the past, and I'll always carry the weight of the choices I made. But with each passing year, that weight feels a little lighter. I've realized that even though I lost my marriage, I found something else, myself. And sometimes, that's the hardest and most valuable discovery of all. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more real-life story videos.